Hey guys, how you going? My name is Dom and welcome to your 6th Dom7 tutorial. So in this one, I want to take you through what's called data storage inside Dom7. And basically what happens is Dom7 allows you to store arbitrary data on your HTML elements. So if you'd like to store some sort of important data on an element or a group of elements, you can actually store it and then it'll persist throughout your JavaScript code, which means you can then access it later on quite easily. So let's just see the source code to demonstrate this. So it looks like this right now. We have the h1 tag, obviously, and also the Dom7 library included inside this script tag. So let's actually store some data on the h1 data storage Dom7 heading tag. Okay, so inside the JavaScript, let's first just select the h1 tag. So I'm going to use the $signs and then pass in our selector to Dom7. We'll type out h1 just like that, and that will select this h1 tag right there. So now we can just say select h1 and then dot, and then we're going to use the method called data. So this data method allows you to both get and set data values. So it's actually stored as a key value pair. So let's store a piece of data on this h1 tag and let's call this data phone. Okay, so we have phone right there. So now our data is called phone as the key. That is the first argument to this method. The second argument is going to be the actual data itself. Alright, so let's actually store an object on this phone key. So we'll pass in an object just like that, okay? And then we can actually obviously, start entering some values inside the object. So let's just say phone. We can say make is a Samsung, that's fine. And we can say model would be a Galaxy S8, for example. And also we can set a price property. Okay, so we can say price of $7.50. Alright, so now this line of code right here is actually going to store this object on this h1 tag, and then it's going to be accessed through the phone key. Okay, so how do you actually access this piece of data once you've actually stored it? Well, you can use the data method once again, this time only providing a single argument. Okay, so let's just console.log here. We're going to console.log. We're going to select once again the h1 tag using Dom7, and then we're going to call the data method inside here, passing in a single argument, phone. Okay, so we pass in the data key right there. Alright, so now if I was to save this and refresh the browser, alright, inside the console we can see we get the object right there. So that is the basics of storing data with Dom7. Now you can also store non-objects. For example, let's just get rid of this right now. Actually no, let's keep that. Let's keep that and just go down here and store a new piece of data on the h1 tag. So let's once again select the h1 tag just like that and say .data. We can add something like let's just say is yellow. I don't know, anything is yellow, and we can say as the second argument we can say true. So we're storing a boolean on the h1 tag called is yellow. So I can once again just console.log, gonna console.log the is yellow key. Okay, so I can save this and refresh the browser. This time we get true in the console. So you can see how the functionality works. Very similar to the attributes and properties. Okay, you can actually remove data from an element, which is quite straightforward. We can use the remove data method. So after I've actually declared the isYellow piece of data, I can go down here and I can actually remove it. So I can say, once again, selecting the h1 tag, and I'm going to call the remove data instead of the data. Okay, we're going to pass in the key. So we'll say isYellow to remove the isYellow key value pair from the h1 tag. So I can save this and refresh the browser, and now we get undefined right there as the output for the isYellow key value pair. Okay. Now, one more thing about the data method is it can actually be used to retrieve HTML5 data attributes. Okay, so back up here, if I was to add an HTML5 data dash attribute like this, for example, data dash name, and then make this equal to something like Dom, okay, just like that, we have a key value pair. We have the key as being name and the value as being Dom. Okay, so I can use this data method to actually retrieve this piece of data. So down here, I'll just remove these two lines and replace it with console.log, the h1 tag dot data passing in name. Okay, so now I can save this and refresh, and we get Dom in the console. So it gets the value from the HTML5 data attribute. Alright? So it's a bit of multi-use going on there. Just keep in mind that if I was to actually set a piece of data using the data method with the same key as the HTML5 attribute, for example, if I was to set data name just like that, and then change the name to something like decode instead, I'll just comment this line out. Alright, actually, let's get rid of it, that's fine. So now I'm actually overriding the HTML5 key with the Dom7 data value. So we're saying data, set the key of name to decode, and now I can save this and refresh. And now we can see that Dom7 chooses its own piece of data over the HTML5 attribute. And in the elements section, we can see that the data name as Dom is actually preserved on the element, but Dom7 is actually just taking its own piece of data before that one. Alright, so that right there is how you can use the concept of data storage inside the Dom7 library. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.